Markets are actually trying to take a breather this morning. It's been up, 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 up. How boring. And so there was some evidence, and the Dow is still showing evidence of possibly taking a breather. Tesla started out a little in the red, but even it's starting to go back into the green even now. Where are we going to end up today? This is kind of one of those days when you're like, it could be time for profit taking. It could be time where the market just can't get any higher. On the other hand, Tesla has been pushing up against that $60, the 260 number, and I really think it's time to break through. But will it be today, or will it be tomorrow, or will everybody wait until the PCE on Friday? Boy, these are some few confusing days here, but we need to get through 260 soon in order to hit Randy's 300 by the end of the year. Anyway, there's a lot going on this morning, but it's kind of an interesting day out there. Kind of one of these days when, well, all right, let's start here. I want to start with not the 300 by the end of the year, but my 700 by the end of next year. So how in the heck am I getting that 700 number when we're sitting here at 200 and barely trying to hit 260? Well, I think that's because Tesla has multiple business divisions that are coiled, just coiled like a spring, and they're ready to rapidly expand, and they're just not understood by the market. It includes multiple surprises on the upside. I'm not talking about anything that has to do with bots on two legs or on four wheels. Nothing to do with that. I'm just talking about the rest of what Tesla can do. It's pretty impressive. At the top of the list would be energy. We are almost certainly going to hear more details about the expansion of the known factories, not to mention new factories for energy storage. We're going to be over 120 gigawatts, and that is going to produce $6 billion in profit. And nobody's figuring that into their playbook for next year. Might not make $6 billion by the end of next year, but the run rate will be over $6 billion, in my opinion, by the end of the year. Well, then a conservative analysis, the conservative analyses that are coming in for next year, not talking about the street, but I'm talking about Larry and Gary and others. They're coming in at 2.4 million. I know I'm still at 2.35, and I'm the optimist, on these things usually. Maybe I'll change my mind and go for a bigger number, but 2.3, 2.4 is way over the street. And that would alone, just that alone, with anything like decent margins, and I would expect margins to increase next year, that's going to be a massive beat to the upside. And then we have the statement earlier this week by, I believe it was Lars, that semi-production will be ramping in 2024. That's a big deal. Oh, also, people are really not expecting the kind of numbers we're going to get out of Cybertruck going into 2025. And by the end of 2024, that will be obvious. And then that will have another impact. And then you got the supercharger network that's expanding at breakneck speed, and now all of these companies that are coming in wanting to buy the equipment from Tesla, and my guess is that there'll be an ongoing income from this. So I think we're going to see a super strong year, and then maybe there will be a bot on two legs or on four wheels. We'll see what happens. All right, this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. The reason you want to hit notify right now is, okay, today, the debate will continue about how many Optimus bots and where they will be deployed in 2024. That is the question that I put out to Kathy Wood, sent it to her X account last night. How many are we going to build in 2024? What is Elon's estimate for that? And will any of those be deployed to customers as opposed to only internally? That debate will continue today at around the noon hour with Larry Goldberg. He and I will get into it in very great depth. And then Scott Walter and I will get into it tomorrow in great depth. And then maybe I put out a request with Mr. Lutz to see if he will be willing to do it. And that would be on the Friday show. He should be on tonight, as usual, as co-host, but we're looking for a second time with him, which would be on Friday, to discuss the same issue, getting all three of them with their opinions. All right. Later on, of course, Jeff will, as I mentioned, be with us. All right. What do we? Yeah, you should, of course, hit Patreon. It's time, guys. Okay, give me a Christmas present. As you're looking around, give Randy a Christmas present, $5, $10. It's good. Hit Patreon, information below. All you do is hit the link. Are you worried that I'm not going to talk about the Cybertruck bottle opener? Well, you know what to do. Place your order, information down below. All right. This is from Michael Schellenberger. If you're not following Michael Schellenberger, you should be. Elon follows him. Are you following at Schellenberger? That's his handle, at Schellenberger. All right. Nearly every media organization saw its digital audience decline 13 to 35%, exclamation point, over the last year. A reporter speculates it's due to higher price. It's not. It's because people have lost trust in the media, which got every big story of the last few years wrong. Elon responded in his account. He says, X has grown during that time by a similar amount. Oh, yes. Okay. So, John Oliver routine. Oliver was great several years ago. Oh, this is Elon Musk. I didn't write this down very well. This is what Elon Musk had to say about John Oliver's routine the other night. He says, Oliver was great several years ago, but stopped being funny when he sold his soul to wokeness, where humor is basically illegal. You can be in favor of being woke. You can be against being woke. You can be somewhere in the middle, but it's impossible. If you can make the argument that woke hasn't killed humor, please make the argument in the comments below, because it has killed humor. There's so many things that you can't make jokes about. It's unbelievable. According to Alex I guess Alex M. Ingram, I think there's underscores between Alex and M and Ingram. Okay. He says he's starting a new role at Tesla this week. I'll be hiring up for a new series of creative roles. Referrals are welcome for exceptional talents. Roles are in office, on site in Los Angeles. He needs a senior production manager. He needs a senior creative lead. He needs a senior video producer. He needs a cinematographer. He needs a video editor and a senior video producer. I wonder what they're doing here in LA. Sounds to me, I'm just guessing, maybe they're going to be producing a lot of videos. You can go back. I'll never find this video. Maybe you can find it, that I did, I want to say 6 months ago, recommended exactly this. I said they should be turning out, probably with a very small staff like this, they could be turning out 2, 3, 4 videos a day. I have a staff. I have help in the Philippines. I have 2 full-time employees in the Philippines. And they're helping produce what I do here. But basically, I spend 40 hours a week and I produce 20 videos a week. I think that probably with a staff like what they're talking about there, they could not only produce 3 a day as I do now, but they would be 3 super ultra professional with all kinds of cool B-roll that they can get that I don't have access to, because they can go into the factories. They can take the cars out and, I mean, can you imagine what a staff like that could do? Oh, I want that senior production manager job. Wall Street Journal today. This is Tesla supplier Panasonic said Wednesday it has decided against building a multi-billion-dollar electric vehicle battery factory in Oklahoma. Oh no. Well, but it's not horrible. Panasonic already has an EV battery plant under construction in Kansas, and that is not being affected. The company has, of course, the company, obviously the Tesla facility. In April, Panasonic entered into a formal agreement with the state of Oklahoma to explore building a factory in the state. Panasonic said Wednesday that it decided not to move forward. It cited a wide range of factors, but it didn't name any. People involved in the talks with the state of Oklahoma said there were differences over conditions and potential subsidies. Panasonic has battled high costs at the Kansas construction site. People at the company have said, I think those are, I'm not sure that has as much to do with the construction as finding people that understand, well, I guess it is construction, people who understand how to build a battery factory. In other words, not the walls, but the internal aspects of it that are going to actually produce the batteries. Just not enough engineers in the US, not enough other people that understand batteries to build the lines. That's what they're running into. This was an article from, this was a conversation that was several months ago. So that's made it harder for them to commit to building another similar plant. They are still planning to get to 200 gigawatts of battery capacity by early 2031. Okay. Yeah, keep going, Panasonic. Faster, please. Anyway, here's a weird one. This is from Barron's this morning. Tesla is cutting out merit-based stock grants from compensation packages after a year in which the share price has doubled. I don't know what the doubling of the share price has to do with. Anyway, the takeaway is unclear. According to Barron's, Elon Musk conceded the awards as being too generous, or conversely, the electric vehicle company might struggle to keep up with high expectations. Those don't sound good. It says no workers will get the stock awards this year that are traditionally given out, not even to top performers. Bloomberg's reported, citing multiple unnamed sources. The grants were given as a way to keep hiring competitive. I don't have a clue why they've stopped those grants. Because you can just give fewer if the price doubles. I can't figure this one out. Comments below if you have some theories on why Tesla would do this in this particular climate. Makes no sense to me. I wish Tesla would make a statement. They should make a statement to their employees as to why they're doing it. They don't need to tell me why, but they should tell their employees why they decided to do that this year. All right, good news. Good news from Barron's this morning. The 30-year rate on U.S. mortgages fell last week to its lowest level since June, even though application numbers also fell. Well, it's the middle. Nothing happens in real estate in the last half of December. Come on, guys. You got to know this stuff if you're going to report on real estate and mortgage. How can you not know that nothing happens in the last 2 weeks of December? All right. The average contract rate for the 30-year mortgage on homes sold for 720, the standard rate, okay, 6.83, 6.83, down from 707 the week before. Wow. That's really good, and probably maybe going to go even lower because this morning, last time I looked, bonds were now under 4.9, 4.9. I'm having one of those senior moments. I'm so sorry. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. The Atlantic has a shocking article out this morning. This is a lean left publication. You know this, right? I mean, their writing is so crisp and so good. The only reason I read the Atlantic is because the quality of the writing is so good, because they definitely have a leftist bias. But it says this morning, basically what they're trying to do in this article is they're trying to help the Biden administration explain to its base why the U.S. is pumping more oil than ever and than any company has in history. But the Atlantic misses the point. The Biden administration does nothing to make this happen. It's done everything it can to stop it. But here's a snippet of the article anyway, because there's good writing and some great logic here. So it says, pushing for reductions in U.S. oil production is like squeezing a balloon. The production will pop out somewhere else, writes Samantha Gross, an energy and climate expert at the Brookings Institute. The world's energy needs are growing rapidly, which means oil companies are going to supply it regardless of what the White House does. Well, that's right. But that's not how the article reads at all. It sounds like, well, the White House finally figured it out and they decided, well, yeah, we need to help. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So it says if the U.S. were to cut back tomorrow, prices would rise. In the short term, this would lead to less consumption and lower emissions, but those high prices would only entice producers in other countries to step in, as many did in the months after the Russia invasion. For that reason, reductions in U.S. oil production could actually result in higher overall emissions. The U.S. has one of the least emissions-intensive oil industries on the planet. shifting production to countries with looser standards would likely to. This is what we were saying earlier this year, and now you got the Atlantic agreeing. Well, Johnny come lately. The logic is clear. But for anyone who cares about solving the climate crisis, the implications can be maddening. A president who has called climate change humanity's greatest existential threat. Such garbage. Anyway, it's not an existential threat. It might be an issue, but it's not existential. Is in charge of the world's largest petrostate. Officials who have spent their entire career trying to prevent global warming are implementing policies that they know will, in the short term, continue to heat up an already too hot planet. What policies are they implementing? It's just a lie. Humanity must stop building fossil fuels, yet America's leaders have come to believe that preventing catastrophic global warming requires pumping out more fossil fuels than ever before. The most frustrating part of all this is that they're probably right. Oh my goodness. Well, they are correct that the logic is obvious. Where they miss is that the current administration has done everything it can to keep oil and natural gas production lower, not higher. Pipelines come to mind, anybody? Alaska come to mind, anybody? This kind of analysis is why the mainstream media is no longer trusted, going back to our lead article. And then you get this headline from Fortune that is so misleading that it has to be intentionally designed to harm Tesla. Some might say that the reporter is just trying for clicks, but this is 10 days after the first report, and it adds nothing to the discussion. Here's the headline: Tesla's recall of 2 million cars, again, relies on a fix that may not even work. Oh my goodness gracious, that's the headline. It's just FUD and misinformation and misdirection and totally intentionally planning to hurt Tesla. Well, it isn't working. Tesla's up about 45 this morning. The S&P is down 342. The NASDAQ is up 518. The Dow is down 65 points. So we have this morning the normal kind of situation with the NASDAQ doing better than the others, and the Magnificent Seven is all doing well this morning. So maybe I've been wrong all along, but one day does not a trend make. I keep thinking we've got to have some kind of a movement of cash out of the Mag 7, out of tech, and into the broader market, but certainly not being reflected this morning. You've got the Cathie Woods mixed this morning. And so when it's mixed, you would think that bonds would be flat. You would be wrong, I think. Anyway, let me put those. You guys like me to do these in percentages also. Dow is down 0.19%, NASDAQ up 0.06%, the S&P is down 0.07%, and Tesla is up 0.66% this morning. Okay, now let's go over and take a look at, I think I've just hit it wrong. Sorry, here we go. We will start with the bonds. After I get things out of my way, the 10-year is down 2.5 basis points at 3.89. That's what I was trying to say earlier. 3.9. That was the number that my brain was unable to grasp just a little while ago. So we're under 3.9. Now, that's just a round number issue, but you know, round numbers, they tend to be important in markets. Okay, we have the 2-month down also. To 5.375. We have got the 2-year down almost 5 basis points. So the inversion there collapsing a bit to 4.388. That is still about 4,400. That's so about where it's been. The inversion continues to be about where it is on the 2-year, but the 2-month is much higher than it had been a few weeks ago. All right, let's go on to oil. So we've got the oil situation in Suez. You know, we've got the Red Sea with the Houthis creating all these issues. So we've got oil up at 75 for West Texas Intermediate now. So that's up almost 4 points this week. But you've got the Brent, which is the Middle Eastern component of the oil business. That is up about the same, about $1 this morning, 1.27%. But it is now $5 more expensive than Texas Intermediate. Normally, it's around 3. Natural gas is up this morning. Again, I think this is all being pulled up because if Europe has any problems getting this Brent, the Brent oil, then they'll have to fill in with natural gas and where they can. And that, I think, is why natural gas is up 1.44% this morning. Gold it's been at 2050 for days. It's kind of stuck right now. Copper is up 0.42% again this morning. It has been up fairly consistently this week. I got to look at the commodities again. I'll try to remember to do that by tonight. If not, by tomorrow morning, I'll take a look at commodities, because it seems to me that commodities might be seeing a little bit of upward motion, and that could be due to the dollar dropping. But this morning it says the dollar is edging up. Sterling is sliding. We know that the yen is sliding. So it might be more to do with the fact European inflation was lower than expected, and the Japanese Bank of Japan is keeping things extremely easy over there. And so that could be it's not so much the dollar is up, is that the yen and the euro is down. Bitcoin this morning up strongly. No news that I can see right now, but up 1,740 at almost 44,000. So looking to go back to some highs there. We have got, that's all, that's it. Oh yeah, I've gone through everything right there. Okay, so let's go back, take a look at Tesla again. It is now still up 0.76%. That's $1.96. We are at 259. Today's the day. I can feel it. It must be the day. We're going to crash through 260. Maybe if we crash through 260, it would be nothing at all for it to go to 265, 266. That's up to 11. It is moving higher. All right, that's the kind of stuff you like to see. All right, you might have missed last night. We had Nicholas Gibbs with his first round as co-host. He'll now be co-hosting Good News Tuesday. And Nicholas did a great job. I think maybe you'll see him differently. Each individual that he participates with, whether he's doing his own show or whether he's on other people's show, it's always going to be different. I think you might see a different Nicholas Gibbs on my show. We went into a whole lot of different stuff, and we looked at his background. We took a look at, who is Nicholas Gibbs before he ended up becoming a YouTuber and becoming, such a part of the community. I think it's a very good segment, and I'll put the card right there. And of course, you want to join Patreon, and you want to hit like and subscribe and notify, and you want to get your order in. It's almost Christmas, folks. It's unbelievable, huh? It's been great talking to you.